Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 282 of Sold with Updike Pugh.
I'm Jeff Updike.
I am Weston Pugh, and today we thought we would take and walk you through a really great condo that is down in Oak Cliff, and you will not believe the walkable score.
It's great.
It is one of those that 10 years ago, we were just talking about this when we went and previewed it 10 years ago. None of this existed down there. And now it is like Uptown was 20 years ago.
And in our second segment today, it's a mystery second segment. So you'll just have to hang out to find out what it is.
All right, guy in white shirt, tell us more. Let's talk about some products and trends that we've actually looked at. And the first one I think is really interesting because I just spent the spring like power washing everything at the house. This would have made life so much easier. This is a jet nozzle that actually connects directly to a hose. Does not require an engine, does not require gas. My biggest question is going to be, how powerful is it?
True. But, there are a lot of things that you really just need, like something like that, like doing your car.
Yeah.
You can actually damage the clear coat on your car if you use a power washer that's got too much power.
This would actually be really good for windows, too.
It would be.
Spring and fall.
Absolutely.
I would totally do this.
Blowing out gutters. I mean, the options are endless for this.
This is just a tool to have at the house.
The second thing we're going to talk about is a battery-operated air pump. I know this sounds silly, but think about, going out after a movie and you got a flat tire on your car. And do you really want to change the spare? I mean, this is something you have in your car, have ready to use. You could plug it in. You could use it on battery if you want. I need to go get one of these.
I think they're really interesting. And the other thing, too, is it's handheld, flashlight included. Charge. So say you can't charge or fill the entire car up because it runs out. Charge it in your car, fill it the rest of the way up, and get on down the road.
And I what I would really use this more for is my bicycle, because I don't think manufacturers make bike tires to hold air. I think they just
are perpetually leaky.
Exactly. So that's why I think you need something like this perpetually.
I think it's smart too. I think it also tells you when you get to the right pressure, so you don't have to guess. So there's again, smarter, not harder. It's easy. Your granddad would not believe you if you had one of these. Oh, and if you've got kids going to college and are commuting back and forth, this is a must-have for them.
Mallory.
Oh, it is. I should have sent it to her. Must-have.
Yeah.
Good call.
The last item is the movable outlet. And this is something that we were talking about this before the show, and Zach brought up that he has an outlet behind his couch, is like smack dab behind his couch. So he wants to be able to use that. And so in order to do that, he plugs this type of extension in and brings it out where you can plug in a phone, you can plug in a lamp. It just provides better accessibility.
I think this belongs in your suitcase. So if you get an Airbnb and you don't get the outlet near the nightstand, or it doesn't have enough to charge all of your electronic features, this is a great thing to pack and play and get out and down the road.
I would agree.
I've said that twice now.
Yeah.
That's too much. All right.
So let's talk about Market Watch.
We are halfway through August, and this is not at all what I expected to see numbers. Not at all. And we're going to talk a little bit about why, too.
So coming soons were down. So coming soons, first of all, is a status that realtors can use in MLS when you have something that you're doing some public advertising on, but you're not ready to show it yet. You can have it in coming soon. Those were down about 19%, although there were still 55 of those in Dallas County last week. New active listings were up 2%, and you'll see there's only about 10% of those listings that went into coming soon. So there were 568 new listings last week, but there were still only 55 coming soons. Option period, that is the first status that a contract goes into, or a house goes into under contract, and it's that kind of look-see period for buyers, and those were up 5%, 307.
So the next status is going to be called pending, and pending is when the option period is expired because all parties have come to agreement, and we are moving on down to the closing table. This is up 19%. This is up 21 units to 133. That is a dramatic shift because it is mid-month. Mid-month is usually very, very flat.
Yeah, I agree.
Very flat.
I agree.
These numbers are interesting. Sold, we are up 24%, and that is up 63 units to 322. I would predict that for the next 2 weeks through the end of August, we'll continue to see this. And the reason why is because we're looking at mortgage rates. Mortgage rates are now at 6.44, which is at a 30-year conforming. This is information that we've gotten from Optimal Blue. Take a look at that. But this is an indicator to us that there are several people, buyers in the wings, that are waiting and ready to buy.
And inventory is really back to about 2019 levels.
It's a good
So
number.
it's a good number. There is still a need for really good property to come on the market. And as you bring a really, really good house on and have it priced decently, and it's going to sell quick.
It is very interesting because we've actually had Timber Trail that went and closed in 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
The buyers are back in the market on high end as well. We've noticed that with one of our listings where we received 3 offers this week.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a very interesting, if you're sitting on the sidelines, it's time to really engage and figure out what your next steps are, because I think that we are beginning to see this level of interest that we haven't seen in a little while.
And I was talking to Jeremy yesterday, and one of the things that he was telling me was that, I've always told him, when you can get in the 5s, let me know. That's going to be a really big news thing to talk about. And he called yesterday and said, hey, we can get in the 5 years on a 30-year conforming, and it's only going to cost you about a point.
Yep, 5%, 1 point.
Well, I mean, in the 5s.
In the
not
fives.
5%.
Exactly. 5s, point something, yes. That's a good number.
It is, and I think psychologically people will see that very differently than they do 6s, and certainly more than they did 7s.
Oh, and their monthly mortgage payment will be quite different too.
I totally agree.
So that's a lot of what's going on the actual market watch. This is information that we can pull for just about any zip code, school district, area that you're thinking of investing in or moving to. If that's something you're interested in, let us know. We can set that portal up really quickly. Coming soon information is nowhere except in the portal.
Mm-hmm.
Does not get relayed out to any other website, so you would be one of the first to know.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about this house, Jeff.
This is a really cool condo, and talk about a unique location. I mean, bam.
So this is 674 Finley Court, and zip code is 75209. It is
208?
Is it? Yes, 208. And it is right down there on Zang Boulevard and 1 block off of Davis.
Yeah.
So this is, again, as we said earlier at the beginning of the show, this didn't really exist 10 years ago. And it has really just caught on because there were so many entrepreneurs in this area that set up the Bishop Art District, and it just caught on and turned it into this little beacon of originality, of things that here are extremely more one-off. And if you're looking for Austin as far as topography and the vibe, this is where we usually point people.
And you've got really great access to really all the freeways here, or the north, south, and the east, west interstates, which can get you just all over the state very, very quickly. You have really good access into Love Field. All you got to do is jump over to Hampton, come up Inwood, Cedar Springs, you're right into the airport. If DFW is where you're going, that is, again, only a 25-minute drive away. And there's so much to do in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, whether it is hiking, biking, you can do pretty much any of that from this location.
And if you actually have to work more towards Fort Worth, this is a great location to be in because of your access to 30. And that may not mean a lot to you if you're not from here, but it is a really great way to reverse commute. Like Jeff said, you can get to Love Field, but if you're not going to Love Field, but you are going to Parkland or you're going to UT Southwestern, this is also a really great place to live and just run up Hampton.
Yeah, and Methodist Hospital, which is another really big economic engine in that area, is within 4 or 5 blocks. And that employs a tremendous number of people in the medical industry.
So lots, as we were saying, is happening in this area. Some of the things that the locals really like in this area, and I'm not a local in this area, but I love this place. And the first one we wanted to talk about is called The Mayor's House by Selda. And this is new-ish, and it is Turkish food. And I just went there the other night, and I have to say this could be my favorite restaurant in Dallas.
Really? I know you've talked about it, but we'll have to try it then. This is, and it's a really interesting location or a building that this is in because they call it the mayor's house because it was the mayor of Oak Cliff's home from 1835 to 1837, and
Interesting.
he was the person that oversaw the Texas Centennial Fair. Franklin Roosevelt has been in this house. Eleanor Roosevelt has been in this house. There's actually a handwritten note from Eleanor Roosevelt that was in this house. This house sat vacant for a very, very long time because it had been passed down through a couple of generations. And the son and daughter that ended up with, or grandson and daughter that ended up with it, did nothing with it. And so it sat there and it just got in disrepair. And a developer bought it, but knowing it had some restrictions on it, he did have it rezoned in for restaurant.
Oh, you need to go. They have a very interesting concept where they all work as a pool tip. And so what it means is that everybody waits on you. So the food is excellent. I believe they have a balcony on the second floor. Also on the first floor, they do have hookahs as well for outside. But overall, this is one of the best flavored. Everything we had from the dessert all the way to the smoked appetizer that was eggplant. Wonderful.
We'll have to try that.
You need to do it.
The second thing we wanted to point out is that this property has a 90 walk score, and we don't see that very often. It is a walker's paradise.
So a 90 score is going to be like State Thomas, portions of Turtle Creek. Those areas get a 90. This is really interesting. Zach, who is editing right now, actually said, I wonder what it looked like if we could find that 10 years ago. And I don't even think it would register as a walking neighborhood at all.
It probably wouldn't 10 years ago.
Great area for getting out and about. You walk out your front door, you can go to the Mayor House, another block, and you're on Davis. Head north on Davis, and you're right in the heart of the Bishop Art District. And
this is just steps away from the Dallas streetcar line station, or one of the streetcar line stations. So you could really just take a little 1.5 block walk down, get on the Dallas streetcar, be in downtown. You could be AAC. You really have so much flexibility because of that Dallas streetcar being there.
And the other thing too is once you get into downtown, you can connect to all the other DART rails. So I don't know what it costs to ride that, but either way, there's a little map on here that you'll be able to take and look. And as you zoom in, I think when we looked at that, it's probably the station 40 yards. But we also wanted to point out that they're electric streetcars, so it's not like living next to a firehouse, which is annoying.
Yeah, and it's not like the McKinney Avenue trolley, which is also electric, but is also a little noisy from time to time.
Yes, it dings a lot. So these are really great tips. These are what locals like to know and do in this area. So without further ado, let's jump in and look at 674 Finley Court. And this is really interesting because it is 4 sides brick, and we do not typically see this in condos.
I was going to say the exact same thing. This is kind of that Chicago brick style exterior, 2-story townhouse layout.
But something about the windows looks kind of like a refreshed warehouse look. Like it just has that throwback. And I think just like everything from the iron gates in the front and the small little courtyard you have, what you see down is the first floor bedroom downstairs. One of the things they did is they left it cement floors down here. Kind of helps those houses get a better score when it comes to the energy efficiency. You have walk-in closet, ensuite bathroom, and then you have additional storage that's also under the stairs. And this is a quick view of the bathroom there. You can see you've got a little pedestal sink. Everything is white subway tile, very clean and easy to look at.
And just back down that hallway through that door you see in the center of the screen is the 2-car garage. Garage door opener like most places do now, but this is, I feel like it was a little bit of an oversized garage for a condo.
Yeah, because you had like 14 inches on each side of your car, which is unique. You also had your tankless hot water heater down there. This is looking at it from the second floor, and you can see it's an easy configuration. I like the fact that you've got 2 large windows, but then you also have plenty of wall space. I get really tired of coming in condos that have chopped up walls and that doesn't allow you to hang art. It kind of becomes weird in the way that it flows. I like the fact that a condo like this, with the buyer in mind, you don't have to focus on a ton of space for a dining room.
You really don't. And this eat up bar is one of
Mhm.
those features that people they love it, even if they don't know they're looking for it, they're looking for it.
And the floating shelves and the stainless steel vent hood and all of the appliances are Bosch, microwave to the refrigerator to the cooktop. All of it works perfectly. Undermounted lights under the cabinet just kind of give it the right look. As you can see, the pendant lights are also have that industrial kind of look. So it all begins to be well thought out. Dark hardwood floors throughout this second floor, which are a really nice backdrop for all of your furniture. Again, the layout is super easy. You can see here there's additional space behind it that makes for a lot more versatility.
And this was a really unique feature that we don't see in a lot of condos. And this is the second guest room that is on that same level as the living room and the kitchen. And so this is on what is that kind of considered over the garage or the back bedroom, but really good sized room, lots and lots of closet space, convenient bath, walk-in shower, frameless shower door. It's just put together very nicely.
Perfect for an office, Murphy bed in there, have versatility. Going up to the third floor. Now this is another element that I think is super unique. Third floor, you have vaulted ceilings, you have really great windows, and as you can see, that's where the balcony is right on the other side, which is a really interesting way to do it. I think it works out perfectly because where else it's like an extension of your master bedroom. Here we can see here, again, the ceilings go up, and there is another little office setup.
This is going through the pandemic era where you had two people both working from home that need separate office spaces. This really knocks it out of the park.
It gives that versatility. Like more and more people, I think we're going to see post 2019, they will be developed like this. Master bathroom, they didn't skimp. They did framed mirrors. They have vanities, quartz countertops. It all hits the cylinders. There's also a window in here that's high enough that you don't have to cover it and treat it, but still get that natural light in.
And as you can see, a big walk-in shower there, frameless glass, stainless steel appliance, stainless steel, polished silver.
Chrome.
Yeah. Thank you, God.
Get it out there. And then walking out onto this balcony, I like the fact that you don't have to walk through the master to get into this. Many of the homes built in the 90s did, and that was just a fail.
Mm-hmm.
This is your view, which is amazing that you actually have a downtown view.
Yeah, that is. So if you step 3 steps to the left, that view becomes so much better.
So this is 674 Finley Court. It's a 3-bedroom, 3 full bath, 2-car garage built in 2017, just over 2,000 square feet, priced at $600,000. That is $297 a foot. And we want to say thank you so much to Jason Sacedo for allowing us to feature this home.
So if you'd like to see any of the other pictures that we didn't get to use, just click on the link below. If you'd like to see this house, let us know. We'll be happy to make that happen.
And with that, we are going to be right back.
Did you know there are a lot of ways you can keep up with us? For starters, every Wednesday at noon, we host Sold with Updike Pugh, live from our Facebook and YouTube channels. Our show is dedicated to featuring some of the best homes in the Dallas market and about sharing timely information about market trends. But don't worry if you miss the show, because you can always listen to them on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Spotify.
Still want more? Follow us on Instagram, where you get a first-hand look at what it's like to be a realtor. And it's not always previewing homes for clients or getting them ready to go live in MLS. Lastly, visit our website and you'll be able to create a custom home search tailored specifically to your wants and needs that's timely and accurate. Whether it's square foot, location, or the neighborhood, we have you covered.
If you'd like to know how much your home is worth, we can help with that too. Just visit homeprice.fyi, enter a few pieces of information like your home address, and we'll email you a price. When you're ready to talk real estate, you can reach us online, by phone, or by text at 214-377-2223.
And remember, we want to be realtors for life.
Hi everybody, welcome to the second segment, episode 279 of Sold with Updike Pugh. I'm Jeff Updike.
And I am Weston Pugh. And today we're going to share with you a little bit about high-rise living. and this is going to be just a kind of like a quick discussion, and Jeff is going to kind of be like, what are you doing? Tell me what you think is one of the most important things you make when deciding on which high-rise you would live in.
I think there are probably going to be three that would be at the top, but
Okay.
I think the top one would be the building amenities, and am I going to use the bulk of the building amenities?
I swear to God, we do not share the same brain. That is exactly what I was going to say. Because to me, I think that's where your HOAs factor into the amenities. And so if you don't use those amenities, you're paying for something you don't need.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a bigger ticket. It can be a bigger ticket item a lot of times because it's based on square footage. So the more square footage you have, the higher your HOAs will be in these high rises. But we have some HOAs that have, a wine room,
Mm-hmm.
and they have wine storage. That's great, and I understand that, but that wouldn't be something that I would be interested in.
Yeah.
1505
or 1200 Main Street's got a huge movie theater in it.
Exactly, and they do lots and lots of events around that,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's important. But I also don't want to spend a ton of money because the downstairs has a massive office area.
Right.
I'm like, I'm never going to use that. So there are things to be conscientious of, and that would be my number one for sure. What would be your number two?
My number two thing that I would like about living in a high rise is the security of it.
Really?
Yeah, I would that to me that is because we've had friends that have moved into high rises because that is a concern to them.
Mm-hmm.
And having that person, if it's a building that has a front desk, having that person down there, having that person screen everybody before they get into the building is very, very important.
I think for me, especially on the unit that we just sold, I felt like the view was stunning.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that because units need to be seen. You showed him in the day and also in the evening to give him. And then when we went back and we're walking through with like some of people that he wanted to have check it out, that view is like living art to me. And I felt like it was an extremely interesting thing. I also like the fact that he wasn't facing due west because, there are a couple in downtown Dallas that one side is
the Metropolitan
due west.
It's due
and
west.
it is so hot. You have great views, but it's so hot. And I liked that this had been kicked off a little bit and that you had downtown and you had the Calatrava and you had all these views that just kind of created an entire thing that just was constantly changing. And I was like, you get lost and just relax up here.
Yeah. One of I think one of the other things that people find very attractive about living in high rises is the lock and leave capability. Because if you're someone who, say you're in town 2 weeks a month. Some people, that's their life. Their job takes them somewhere else and they just want a small place here. You can lock the door and leave and you don't even have to tell anybody.
I think the last thing that I would say for high-rise living for me is that so many of these high-rises are in really urban where the lifestyle plays like another factor and another layer. So you can go downstairs and you can walk to the dinner or you can walk to a theater. There's that element, like Will is going to be able to catch the rail and be at American Airlines, or he can be all the way in McKinney in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of elements that not living in suburbia or just almost suburbia where the only thing you walk is to walk your dog. This is actually getting out and having that life expanded.
So hope that was helpful to you. It's always been a really interesting subject to us. We've had a lot of clients that we sold high-rise units to that love where they live. And it's unfortunate for us because they're probably never going to move. But anyway, hope you found that helpful. If there's any other topic you want us to discuss, just put it in the comments below.
And just remember, we want to be your realtors for life.
When you're ready to talk real estate, you can reach us online, by phone, or by text at 214-377-2223.
And remember, we want to be your realtors for life.